All right, guys, thanks for joining me back here. We're getting ready to put the grout in. Now, if you guys don't know how to mix the grout, you'll see in the top right of your screen, it'll pop up my mortar mixing video. Mixing the grout is basically exactly the same way, but a couple of tips real quick on that. Okay, grout is much more sensitive to water than mortar. It uses much less, and you add just a little bit, it goes a long way. So you can very quickly turn your grout into soup, okay? Now you want your grout to be a little bit thinner than you did have your mortar, but other than that, it's kind of the same way. Also, because you're probably mixing up much less and it is lighter, sometimes, not always, it's, excuse me, it's okay to put the grout in first into your bucket and then add the water so that you can add just a little bit at a time. Other than that, here we go, taking the spacers off. Now, you definitely need to have your bucket of clean water with your tile grout sponge, and you need an actual tile grout sponge. This is not where you can use your old car washing sponge. They are different. It's important, all right? Now I just happen to have some gray grout here, so it's very simple looking. Actually, I think they call this wheat or something like that. All right, you don't want to just unless you have lots of small tile where you're gonna run it all over the place, you want to try to just keep it along the grout lines, okay? You're just gonna angle your grout trowel, which your grout trowels have a foam in here so they can compress, they are flexible. You need to push it into that grout line. If you don't, if you just run it across, it'll only fill it up about halfway. I mean, it's superficial, and it means your grout is gonna crack, okay? Not a good thing. So you need to push, some elbow grease needs to be put into this so it's pushed in, okay? You spread it along into all the grout lines, all right?
Now hold on a second there, I almost forgot a great tip. Now what if you're going to grout up a wall? Say you're doing a shower wall or a backsplash or whatever. Taking the grout off the trowel from a bucket and sticking it on the wall is hard because you actually end up dropping a whole bunch. So what I use instead is a drywall pan and knife. That's right, I mean a drywall pan and knife is designed to apply a product to the wall, right? That's right, just like in the picture right there. That seems to work really, really well for me. I've used it like that for years. So you just apply the grout with the drywall knife. Some people call them putty knives. You just do it kind of in the same way as if it was the trowel.
And you press down pretty good. All right, now from there, now we need to get rid of the excess. So we're just gonna spread her across. Don't dig right into the grout line. Make sure you're always a diagonal from the grout lines. If you feel it hit the grout line because you accidentally got straight up on it, then you need to fill it back in, okay? It's really kind of that simple. Okay, sometimes it just needs a little bit of help. Okay, see there? And that's about as cleaned off as we're gonna get with the trowel. Now we're gonna get the bucket of clean water with a sponge, and you can do this pretty right away. You wanna squeeze out a good amount of the water. It still needs to be pretty wet, but not, you see I'm not dripping all over? And you're gonna lightly just clean it off. And you're gonna do a whole lot of rinsing. Okay? To go in a circular, you see some people go in circular motions. That's okay if you have lots of little tile, but if you have big tile like this, with just straight grout lines, just follow the grout lines and don't go crazy. You don't want to push too hard, okay? Because then you'll just suck all the grout out of the line. Now if it starts to dry, if you've gone too far and you come back, because the grout will set up pretty quickly. So you don't want to go too far before you start cleaning it up. Then you might need to go into the circular motion and clean it off, but just be very careful on how much pressure you put on there so you don't end up taking all the grout off. Okay, see? You just lightly go, and just clean it off, and make sure there's no grout sticking somewhere else it shouldn't be. Other than that, you can see that's just been grouted. That is going to take about a day to dry, and then it's good to add some sealer to it or something like that so that it doesn't take stains. But now we basically completed our tile series, guys. There are going to be links in the description down below for the entire tile series. Plus, you can find it on my website, greatbyninja.com. Please subscribe to the channel, and thanks again.